This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by AMD. Coming up on Destructoid, Rayman Legends is coming to PC, Incognita's cover gets blown with 40 minutes of gameplay, and the Xbox One appears to be opening up to indies. Plus, I'm back from Hawaii. All that and more right now on Destructoid Live.
Welcome to Destructoid. I am Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville. Aloha. Which
Aloha.
is Hawaiian for good afternoon.
Wow, I'm surprised I can even hear you over that shirt.
Look at that. It has pictures of sea animals all over it. These are actually sea turtles. I saw them in Hawaii. These ones are okay because the fish aren't eating them, but this one is apparently excessively filthy because the fish are eating the garbage off of it.
Does that qualify as a Hawaiian shirt? Because I usually think flowers when I think Hawaiian shirt.
I bought it in Hawaii and it's covered in animals that I saw in Hawaii, so I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's a Hawaiian shirt, Tara.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
nice. Maybe there's flowers on the back there somewhere.
The coral reefs are like
Coral is a flower.
They're
There
like
you
flowers
go.
of the ocean, really.
Technicalities.
Yeah.
All right, on to video game news. So Rayman Legends has been in development for so long already, you probably thought there was nothing more we could say about it, but you would be wrong. So very wrong. There's everything we can say about it. Specifically, Ubisoft announced yesterday, just 5 weeks before the game's release, that it's also going to be coming to PC. This was unexpected. Even cooler, it'll be releasing on September 3rd, the same day as all of the other versions. If that wasn't enough, there's more. Pre-ordering the game on PC will get you a free downloadable copy of Rayman Origins, and that is in addition to those 40 remastered levels that are already included in every copy on all platforms. I talked about those, I think, last episode or the one before. I gotta say, as one of the many people who was initially pissed by the delay, Ubisoft has really handled their shit in the interim. Like, they've added so much content over the past 6 months, not to mention entirely new platforms that were not planned from the beginning, I have to assume. I would be really surprised to see anyone dissatisfied with the quality of the final product once it actually comes out. I could not be more excited for this. I'm reviewing a couple games right now, but all eyes for me are on Rayman Legends. I'm just waiting.
You love that game.
I do. I love it so much.
I was stoked to play it. I'm glad that it's going to get into the hands of people.
Yeah.
Aside from just Wii owners. Not that you're not people, but I mean, you know, there's like 12 of you.
Yeah, the more Rayman, the merrier,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's
what I
everyone
always
can
say.
go play. That's fun. Anyway, Tara, nobody wants to hear about a game coming out for PC. That's boring. They come here for filth. Hot, nasty video game filth. So I'm going to run down some of the disgusting, offensive smut to come out of our beloved industry lately. For starters, the first sex game to offer Oculus Rift support is out. And it's not Wicked Paradise, which we've previously reported on. It's the Japanese adult dating sim Custom Maid 3D. Not made like you created it, but made like a housekeeper. Yeah. As the title would suggest, the players are tasked with customizing these maids, who then they can talk to for a while, and then they can do it. And now, thanks to the Oculus Rift, they can do it in dazzling, immersive virtual reality, I guess.
Is that supposed to be a sexy dance?
Look at all those customizable maid options. It's crazy.
And I don't see a French maid one either.
So many blouses. I'm sure they have a French maid. Those
All
are
I
probably
see is Sailor
really
Moon.
higher level, more. That's probably like dragon maid armor. I don't know. However, you know, the Rift isn't actually the only crazy peripheral that Custom Maid 3D supports. It's also made for use with the Juicy Air Support controller, which is basically a PlayStation Move controller, except instead of waving it around, you can just, you know, stick things inside it. You know what I mean?
Like fingers?
Sure, probably. I don't know. I don't know how to play this game, but you can play with an Oculus Rift, and that's news. In other filth-related video game news, we've got some more details about what kind of rude stuff is in store for us in Saints Row 4. As you might have expected and subsequently rolled your eyes over, Saints Row 4 will have a season pass for DLC. That's pretty rude and filthy. And it'll allegedly contain over $15 worth of content at the low price of $10. However, some of that content, before you have a little frown festival there, is an anal probe gun.
Woohoo!
That's right. This rumored device called the Rectifier, which apparently upset the hell out of the Australian Ratings Classification Board, because everything else does, will be included with one of the mission packs. So if you're interested in a pretend gun that shoots stuff into people's bottoms in your video game, there you go. In other stupid Saints Row news, Volition Deep Silver have announced the Saints Row Game of the Generation Edition, which is possibly the most stupid and ostentatious special edition of a game yet. You get Well, you get everything that's included with the Super Dangerous Wub Wub edition of the game, which is sort of the baseline special edition. That includes a functioning 12-inch replica of the dubstep gun, a statue of Johnny Gat, and a Doomsday button, which I don't know if it even does anything. However, the Game of the Generation edition also includes a light-up rotating display case. Not for the statue or the gun, but for the game itself. They are selling you a display case for the game that you're buying from them. I don't...
For the person who already has everything.
For insane people and Volition employees. There's some overlap there.
Yeah.
The Game of the Generation edition is only going to be available for PS3 and 360, and it is going to set you back $130, which it's probably worth noting is more than the price of 2 games.
Yes.
So, I mean, you could get... I love that they're just going completely just balls to the wall crazy here.
I actually would have expected that to be a little bit more expensive. So,
that's a nice case.
Although I did play around with that dubstep gun at the Saints Row 4 party at E3, and I gotta say, it feels a little bit cheap.
We might have to review it.
Yeah, we might have
journalism.
to. Yes. So here's a bit of news that I found interesting. The creator of Smash Bros., Masahiro Sakurai, announced yesterday that Super Smash Bros. 4 is not going to contain a story mode or any cinematic cutscenes for fear of them being spoiled on the internet.
You don't say!
Yes, it's like they just discovered the internet and how it works.
Oh my God.
Masahiro explained in his bi-weekly column on Famitsu that because cutscenes from Super Smash Bros. Brawl's story mode Subspace Emissary ended up on the internet after the game came out, they will not be included in Smash Bros. 4. He said, quote, "You can only truly wow a player the first time he sees a cutscene. I felt if players saw the cutscenes outside of the game, they would no longer serve as rewards for playing the game. So I've decided against having them." So rather than cinematics that try to tie the whole experience together, characters are instead going to get little intro sequences, kind of like what we saw at E3 when they announced all the new characters like the Wii Fit trainer and Mega Man and the villager from Animal Crossing, who I love. He's so cute. Well, they're not going to show him? Okay, maybe not. We get Mario now. So this goes for both the Wii U version and the 3DS versions of the game, although Masahiro did say that the 3DS version was going to include some kind of separate mode from the standard versus play. He didn't say what that was, but
of course not.
Have something to look forward to there.
That would ruin the surprise.
Yes.
People would put it on the internet.
Yeah, God forbid. He also said that the 3DS version would contain some different stages than what the Wii U version is going to have. It's going to have levels that are themed more around portable gaming, while the Wii U levels will be mostly console gaming themed. That's a thing that they've done a lot of recently. Like, I know Sonic Lost World has completely different levels on the 3DS version than it does on the Wii U version, so that's kind of cool, actually. Lastly, he hinted at some form of character customization in Smash Bros. 4 that is going to allow you to alter your character's performance. Again, very few details that were given on that, I assume, because he has some kind of word limit in his column. But I gotta say, I've never been a huge fan of the Smash Brothers games, but this is the first one that's actually made me feel a little bit guilty for not liking them. And I've been trying to think of why that is, and I realized it's because of these screenshots of the villager, which are so cute, I could just stab somebody right now. God, it's so cute. I love him.
I think it was Game Trailers put up this awesome Skyrim mod that was the villager in Skyrim with like the extra blood mod turned on. So it's just the villager going around. He's like cutting down trees. You're like, ah, and then he just starts killing everybody, and there's just blood all over his face, and he's just kind of wobbling around.
That's so adorable.
Yeah.
My Animal Crossing New Leaf character is the cutest little girl, and I'm literally like, I'm like a parent. I keep taking pictures of her doing things, like not even to show anybody, just to have them on my 3DS in case I ever want to look back and be like, that was a fun day.
Oh man.
It's really cute.
That's
and pathetic.
Animal Crossing. So yeah, moving on, because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about us talk about Animal Crossing the whole show, but you probably do. I don't know. I think you're into that.
Do it.
Anyway, a while ago we told you guys about the upcoming turn-based tactical stealth game Incognita, the latest from Klei Entertainment, who are the guys behind Mark of the Ninja and Don't Starve. And today we get our first look at the new game in action by way of a nice, juicy 42-minute live stream of an early build of the game, with the developers answering questions about it. Now, if you're curious, the whole thing is archived over on the Klei Entertainment Twitch channel, which is just Twitch/Klei Entertainment or whatever. But in a nutshell, the game looks like a stealthy XCOM, but with a more stylized aesthetic and with procedurally generated levels, making every mission a new experience. The guys kind of start out the live stream by being like, we have no idea what we're getting in for here, because everything's randomly generated. In the current build of the game, up to 6 members can be on a squad, and they'll be tasked with hacking into security systems to determine the location of enemies and they'll need to be smart about it, or they'll die, and then they'll stay dead because the game has permadeath too. Obviously, there's a lot of XCOM comparisons you can make here, but Klei's Jamie Cheng pointed out that while Enemy Unknown, the Firaxis XCOM game, is like 10% information gathering and 90% positioning, Incognita flips it and puts a much greater emphasis on reconnaissance. Incognita is in the works for PC, Mac, and iPad with a planned Linux version down the road, and there's going to be an open beta this summer at some point with the full game coming out sometime next year. And I gotta say, I think the game looks really great, and I really have to applaud Klei for just coming right out and showing it off via live stream, because it actually demonstrates how the game looks in action. And I mean, it's isometric turn-based strategy. It's not really something you can just slice up a bunch and throw dubstep over it and be like, it's a trailer for our game, give it meow. So I'm glad that they're being open about that and actually kind of, you know, taking it for a spin.
Yeah, and it looks so good, even still in alpha.
Also, I mean, you know, job security is great, but they're totally cutting out the gaming press there. They're like, hey, everybody, here's us playing the game, answering your questions.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. We're going to take a quick second to thank our sponsor, AMD, and then we will be back with more news. Hey guys, I am joined today by John Rettinger of Techno Buffalo. So you've been playing around with this new notebook, which is currently running AMD's Elite Mobility APU. This is the newest processor in their A-series line.
Yep, we finally got it in a production laptop. It's been a blast to take a look at. So this whole thing, the entire quad-core chip, fits on the size of your fingernail. And it's a pretty cool combination of power and battery efficiency. And if you want to do some heavy gaming on it, you actually can. If you plug it in, it kicks up the speed and are able to get some pretty decent gaming going.
Yeah, this has, I believe, up to 12 hours of battery life. I actually thought one of the coolest things on here is this turbo dock feature, which actually adjusts the performance power based on whether or not it's plugged in. So if you're on an airplane or something, you can actually play it on a lower performance setting, and it's not just going to use up all of your battery, right?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of the best of both worlds. So you're not going to be able to get everything rocking at full 1080p settings, but if you want a computer that can sort of have a perfect combination of power and battery life, it's a awesome way to go. I think AMD hit this one out of the park.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, John. Now back to the show. Hey, we're back to the show. So indie development has been a huge source of debate in the upcoming console generation. I think after E3, Sony pretty much cemented themselves as the most indie-friendly of the big three publishers. So naturally, Microsoft is now taking steps to reclaim some of that goodwill that they lost with yet another policy reversal, which seems to be really popular.
Why did they even announce the thing?
I don't know why they announced anything. They should have just ditched E3 this year. Anyway, Microsoft's corporate VP Mark Whitten announced Wednesday that all Xbox Ones are now going to double as development kits, allowing anyone to self-publish on the console. He said, quote, "Our vision is that every person can be a creator, that every Xbox One can be used for development, that every game and experience can take advantage of all the features of Xbox One and Xbox Live. This means self-publishing, this means Kinect, the cloud, achievements, this means great discoverability on Xbox Live. We'll have more details on the program and the timeline at Gamescom in August." Yeah, so if they had just said that at E3, I feel like they could have avoided a whole lot of hoopla, but better late than never, I guess.
Give themselves a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that might win over some developers, but an Xbox One still costs $500, and for poor, starving indie game developers like Polytron's Phil Fish, that's a lot of money.
Couldn't have found a better picture?
I found the worst one I could find.
Okay.
Sorry, Phil. And Sony has apparently been tackling that reality by generously loaning out PS4 dev kits for free. Now, Polygon, not Polytron, Polygon spoke to a few development sources who claim that the PS4 dev kit costs $2,500 to own, but that for indie studios who meet the requirements and sign up on their Become a Registered Developer website, Sony has had no problem with just letting them borrow one, just taking it for a spin. Now, of course, it's unclear what the stipulations of becoming a registered developer are. Maybe exclusivity, who knows? But it definitely seems like Sony recognizes the growing popularity of indie gaming, or if nothing else, they realize that having games on their system will probably pay off in the long run. Took them a while to figure that out, but offering free dev kits is a pretty smart way to get indie devs on board.
Yeah, I saw that they, I can't remember if it was Polygon or who it was asking other indie developers about what they thought about Microsoft's policy reversal, and it seemed like everybody was like, well, it's a step in the right direction, but I'm not eager to repeat like the poor relationship that I had with them, you know. So I mean, PR is still very important, and Microsoft clearly has some work to do on that end.
What about Japan?
Yes, meanwhile in Japan, Nintendo is still partially stuck in their old ways. They've eased up on a lot of their requirements for indie development on Nintendo consoles in the recent years, but according to a Nintendo spokesman, they are currently refusing all submissions from Japanese indie developers, which seems really strange because they're a Japanese company. This is usually the kind of news that you learn through hearsay or nasty, vicious rumors, but in this case, it's true, and Nintendo has actually confirmed it themselves. They said the policy in question is the decision of Nintendo's department responsible for licensing activities in each region. I love how they say Nintendo's department as though they're not themselves Nintendo.
What are they doing? What are they?
I don't know. I guess there's some strange licensing issues with games in Japan. I'm not going to pretend to know, all the nitty-gritty details of what's going on there, but it is strange to me. It'd be like, if Microsoft was like, oh, we can't license games in America right now, sorry.
I still can't get over the cutscenes thing. What if they're just like, there are too many spoilers in indie games. We decided that we shouldn't let them be on.
Yeah, I don't know if that was so much Nintendo as it was Masahiro Sakurai and his personal beliefs on like internet spoilers, but either way, it's kind of strange, and I wonder if that's really the full reason that they're doing
I feel
that.
bad that we're like we hate on Nintendo. We don't hate on Nintendo exactly, but it's like they don't do themselves any favors.
I just don't understand a lot of their decisions.
Let's be positive about Nintendo. Tell us about Animal Crossing.
Animal
Some people
Crossing,
actually said they
I
wanted to
actually kind of dissed it in our Casual Friday video this week. I said that Farmville was a more compelling game, which in a lot of ways it is. I'm not saying it's a better game, but in a lot of ways it's more compelling. Animal Crossing New Leaf, I just can't, I don't know what my purpose in life is in that game. I do things, but I don't know why I do them. I don't know why I pick fruit.
That's how I feel about my real life. Yeah, my girlfriend has been playing that addictively, and I haven't really gotten up close with it and figured out how it works. So she's just like, check it out, I got a Metroid in my basement next to my fish tank, and there's a bathtub with a video camera pointed at it. I'm just like, what do you do in this game? She's like, I got stung by bees, and I'm like, tell me more. She's like, this frog's gonna sing to me. And I'm like, what's he singing? He's like, he's singing about how his wife hates him. And I was like, what is this
Honestly,
game?
if my character wasn't so freaking adorable, I would not be nearly as into that game as I am. So let's take some audience questions. It looks like a few people have some things to say about Smash Brothers. Let's see. What are you saying you like? Somebody said, Tara, what are you saying you like Farmville and not Smash Brothers? I never said I liked Farmville. I said it was compelling
You were more
in a way
into
that I can't understand.
Cityville? Were you into Cityville? Was that?
Frontierville and Cityville,
okay.
actually.
Yeah, confirmed Zynga fangirl.
That was for work research, guys, so don't get too excited. Let's see. Sotnist said about Incognita, they should have called it Incognito. Sorry, guys, we don't have any questions here. Our audience development person, Jackie Talbot, is throwing some audience questions into our little doc right now. Damian Campbell said, what are you guys hoping for in the new Smash Brothers? I'll let you take that one. Cutscenes? What aside from that?
No,
I'm looking
not
forward
into Super
to the
Smash
Villager.
The Villager's cute. I think the Wii Fit Trainer is awesome. I would love to see Miyamoto in there. I think that'd be great.
I'm honestly surprised that they waited this long to throw Mega Man in the game.
I'd like a playable Virtual Boy, just as a character. Just flies around and just blinds people.
All right, last question. Tainted Wisp, I love that username, said, do you think we will see Uncharted 4 or Last of Us 2 reveal at Gamescom? Definitely not Last of Us 2. I mean, that just came out.
I don't think that's really, The Last of Us 2, I don't think they're gonna do a sequel to that.
I don't think so either. It's not that kind of game.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about this yesterday. I'm at 97% through The Last of Us, and I'm at a very intense part, and I got home off the airplane, red-eye flight yesterday, and I sat down to play it, and I was just playing it, and then I just was like, why am I doing this? This is so stressful, and put it down. 97% of the way through the game. So
you're almost done then.
I would say on Uncharted 4 is a safe bet, but I can't help but think that maybe they're starting something new for the next gen, and I don't think we're going to hear about it quite yet.
Yeah, I feel like if we did see an Uncharted 4, it wouldn't be till next year, maybe at like E3. I don't know how big Gamescom is for Naughty Dog, but I think usually the big game reveals come right at E3 or shortly before somewhere. So I don't know. Great questions, though. I'm afraid that is all the time that we have for today's show. Before we head out, we do want to give a special birthday shout out to Matt Oh, our intrepid cameraman. It is his birthday today. I don't know how old he is, but
There's
he looks...
There's his beloved parrot, Fernando.
Yes.
He carries that parrot with him everywhere. There's just parrot
He
shit
really
all over
does.
the studio
Matt
all
and
the
his
time.
parrot.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of
Yeah.
him. Yeah, so thank you, Matt, for always making us look good on camera.
Also, somebody on Twitter asked for a birthday shout out while we're doing it. It was, I think it's MX Chick Magnet 86.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
Always watching our show. So happy
Yes.
birthday, MX Chick Magnet. I
And
love your
happy
username.
birthday to anybody else whose
Yeah.
birthday happens to be today, which I'm sure is at least one of you. If you guys want to go follow us on Twitter, you are more than welcome to do so. I am Tara Longest, he is Max Scoville, and the show is a D-Toy Show. We are going to be back here on Tuesday with a regular pre-recorded episode, so please have a wonderful weekend, be safe, and don't drink too much coffee because it will give you the runs. It will.